On January 18, 2011, a brand new video game that would take on the popular Magic the Gathering collectible card game came out for Windows PC that puts a new spin on the game: Magic the Gathering Tactics.
It's a new type of game. It allows you to experience the world of Dominaria in a way that you've never seen before.
Developed by Sony Online Entertainment, Magic the Gathering Tactics is a turn-based strategy game in which players control a planeswalker with the goal of defeating their opponent's chosen planeswalker. In Tactics, there were 5 planeswalkers from which to choose.
Chandra Nalar is the red planeswalker, and we get to show her manipulating fire. And Garruk Wildspeaker, he's the green planeswalker. He's very much at home in the forest, carries a giant axe. Liliana Vess, she's the black planeswalker. She's beautiful, deadly at the same time. Ajani Goldmane is the white planeswalker, and he's very proud and very regal. And of course, Jace Beleren, he's the blue planeswalker. He's pretty much the star planeswalker right now.
In order to lead their planeswalker to victory, players would form an army by way of a spellbook. Upon account registration and avatar creation, players were given a basic working spellbook that could be upgraded over time.
This is going to be a 40-spell spellbook containing figures and spells, which are going to be based on the color of Magic that you selected.
Collections are expanded through the purchasing of digital booster packs, meaning that, in theory, the more a player spent on Tactics, the better their spellbooks would be. It's something that was not exactly a foreign concept for an otherwise free-to-play game, though cards could be acquired by completing the initial single-player campaign or by completing challenges. Actual gameplay works a bit different than the traditional tabletop game. For example, you would generate 1 mana each turn, and you could use that mana to bring creatures into play or cast spells.
Perhaps you want something that helps mana generation like green. Perhaps you want creatures that regenerate like black. We've got all different types of creatures in Magic the Gathering Tactics.
As far as what creatures players of Tactics could expect to see,
you'll recognize a lot of the familiar characters from Magic. You'll see Serra Angels, you'll see the Colossus of Sardia, you'll see elves, you'll see a lot of goblins. You like dragons? We've got them.
Yay, palette-swapped dragons. As for the spells in Tactics, they play something of a utility for players, and that includes a number that fans of paper Magic would likely find familiar.
Doomblade, Healing Salve, Regeneration. There'll be a lot of spells from Magic the Gathering that you'll recognize immediately, and there'll be easy choices in your spellbook.
As for the actual gameplay, if you looked at reviews from when the game came out, things were remarkably average. If anything, despite game elements that included character positioning and map control, reviewers complained about the game's lack of any real depth, as Tactics gameplay seemed to quickly devolve into a strategy that focused heavily on simply using everything in one's arsenal just as soon as they became available, which removed much of the strategy part of the game. Furthermore, it was noted that the game's initial campaign was relatively short and could be completed in only a matter of hours. Plus, naturally acquiring cards for one's spellbook, that is, without spending any money, was more than just a grind. It was a slog, which basically meant that, in multiplayer play, it was very much pay to win. Reviews at the time were slightly worse than average. The overall Metacritic score for the game is a 62 out of 100, with the best score coming from PC Gamer, which rated the game as 74 and praises what depth the game has, while criticizing its, quote, mockery of the free-to-play label. Norwegian gaming website Gamer.no gave Magic the Gathering Tactics its worst review score, giving it a 50 out of 100, saying that while the game offers a fresh and original take on the collectible card game, Tactics is plagued by bugs, mismanagement, and a severe lack of communication from its developers. Despite the promise of a PlayStation Home version for the PS3, Magic the Gathering Tactics would not last long. On October 21, 2013, it was announced that the game would be put to rest the very next year. Quote, "We are honored to have been part of bringing you the magic of the multiverse over the last few years," says Sony Online Entertainment. "It has been a fun and memorable journey, and we thank you for all of your dedication and support." Magic the Gathering Tactics officially shut down on March 28, 2014. Full disclosure, I have never actually personally played Magic the Gathering Tactics, just never had the chance. But I do want to know if you've played it, and if you have your own thoughts on the game. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you like content like this, please hit that like button and subscribe to Magic Untapped here on YouTube. Also, we have a tip jar on Patreon if you are feeling so generous. Thank you for watching.